Hello everyone, welcome to your physics class. This is your physics teacher. Hope you all are good. In the previous video, you have learnt about the two characteristics of sound, that are loudness and pitch of the sound. Now today we will discuss about the third characteristic of sound, that is known as quality or timbre of sound. So what is quality? As we know that we all can produce different sounds, and we can distinguish between each different sound. So how we can distinguish between the different sounds which are having the same pitch and loudness? Whether they are having the same pitch and loudness, we can distinguish between two different sounds, and these can be distinguishable only due to the characteristic of sound which is known as quality of sound or timbre. So this is the quality of sound or timbre which helps us to distinguish between the two sounds or between the two different sounds which are having the same pitch and loudness. For example, if we pluck strings of the same length of two different musical instruments with equal force, then we will notice that the notes produced by them are different. There are two different musical instruments and we are plucking the strings which are having the same length with equal force, but the notes or the music produced by them will be different. Why? Because of the quality or timbre of sound. So the property which distinguishes between two sounds of two different musical instruments having the same pitch and loudness is called quality of sound or timbre. It is not just for only musical instruments. It can be for any of the sounds, any of the two sounds which are having the same pitch and loudness. For example, sounds of the same pitch and loudness are produced from a piano and a guitar. Even if we are not allowed to see the instruments, but we would still be able to distinguish between the sounds of the guitar and the piano. So this is due to the difference in the timbre or in the quality of the sound produced by the guitar and the piano. So that's why we are able to distinguish between the sounds produced by the two instruments. Now next is the topic which is known as audible and inaudible sounds. So what are audible and inaudible sounds? As you know that there will be various frequencies of the sound waves. Some frequencies of sound waves are within audible range and others are not. That means we can hear sounds in a specific frequency range. Some frequencies of sound waves are within audible ranges, means कि जिन sounds को हम सुन सकते हैं, and others are not. For example, human beings can hear sounds of frequencies between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz. This is the normal range of frequency for the human beings. That means human beings can hear sounds in between these frequencies, 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. And the vibrations below 20 Hz and the vibrations above 20,000 Hz are not audible to humans. So to what these are audible? These are audible to some animals. So these are inaudible to us, but these frequencies will be audible to us. So vibrations below 20 Hz are called infrasonic sound. Vibrations between the frequency range of 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz are called sonic sounds. And the vibrations above 20,000 Hz are called ultrasonic sounds. So these are the different sounds which can be produced by the different animals or the different living beings. For example, the elephants, whales, hippopotamus, all these can hear infrasonic sounds. But the bats, rats, cats, dolphins, these can hear the infrasonic sounds. Ultrasonic sounds. So in this way, these are classified. Now, next there is InfoHub. The same thing is written here, that whales such as blue fin and humpback possess special hearing abilities, and it is found that these animals are the best adapted to hear low frequencies. That means these are able to hear infrasonic sounds, but bats, rats, cats, and the dolphins can hear the ultrasonic sounds. Now, next there is a quick check. So, first there is a true false. First is that unit of frequency is meter. No, it's hertz, so it is false. Time taken by particle to complete one vibration is called time period. Yes, it is true. The time taken by the particle to complete one vibration is called time period. The maximum displacement of a wave from its mean position is called wavelength. No, it is amplitude. So it is false. The distance between consecutive crests or troughs is called amplitude. No, it is known as wavelength. So it is also false. Next, the amplitude and the frequency of the musical wave do not change. Yes, it is true. The amplitude and frequency of musical wave do not change. Next is fill in the blanks. As distance between the source and listener increases, the loudness of a sound decreases. It will decrease. Which is the effect produced in the air due to the sound of a particular frequency? That is known as pitch. Pitch is the effect produced in the air due to the sound of a particular frequency. Characteristic of sound waves are, which are the three characteristics? Loudness, pitch, and quality, that we have learnt now. Quality or timbre, loudness, pitch, and quality. Next, the property due to which notes of two different musical instruments having the same pitch and loudness can be distinguished is called quality of sound or timbre of sound. Which strings produce high pitch sound wave, whereas longer string produces low pitch sound. So the strings, the thinner strings, or here we will write shorter strings. Shorter strings will produce high pitch sound waves, whereas longer string produces low pitch sound. Now next are the units of sound. The loudness of sound is measured in decibels. It is represented as dB. Because loudness is the intensity of sound, so intensity of sound of various sources of the sound is given in this table. For example, firstly there is a threshold of pain. What is the meaning of this threshold of pain? Means this is the point at the curve, at any curve, then where the perception of the stimulus of pain gets started. Means when we feel or when we observe pain, so that is the sound intensity, that is 120 decibel. Now next is the intensity of busy traffic. Sound intensity of busy traffic, that is 70 decibel, and its intensity is 10 to the power -5. The intensity of conversation or the loudness of conversation is 65, normal conversation. Next is stationary car, that is 50. The loudness of whispering means when we are talking very slowly or softly, that is 20. Next, rustle of leaves, that means when leaves fall and the sound of the leaves is known as rustle of leaves. So the intensity of sound of rustle of leaves is 10 decibel. The threshold of hearing is 0 because it will not produce any sound, so its threshold will be 0. Now next is the reflection and absorption of sound. As we know, light can reflect, so like light, sound also gets reflected whenever it comes across an obstacle like a wall or a mountain. It gets reflected. Substances having smooth and hard surfaces are considered good reflectors of sound. For example, metals, walls, these are smooth and also these are hard, so these are good reflectors of sound. But the things which are soft and fluffy, these are known as bad reflectors of sound. For example, clothes, wallpapers, curtains, all these are black reflectors of sound because they are reflecting a little bit of sound but they are absorbing more sound. So they absorb sound and sound also obeys the laws of reflection. How it obeys the laws of reflection? We can check and we can perform an activity to check if sound obeys the laws of reflection. So what is the aim? To check if sound follows the laws of reflection, and for that we need two hollow cylindrical tubes, thick metal plate, cardboard, screen and a stopwatch. What we have to do? Firstly, we will take the plate or the metallic plate and we will put that cardboard as a screen in the middle. This is the middle point of this plate. Then we will arrange these cylindrical tubes in this position. So at one end of one of these cylindrical tubes we will place the clock, and on the other end we will keep our ear. So whenever the clock produces sound, then we are able to hear through this cylindrical tube. So we will then what we will do? We will measure the angle between the clock and the screen and the ear. That means we will measure the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection using a protractor. How we can measure? Because this will act as a incident ray, and the angle between this will act as a normal, and this will be a reflector ray. So the angle between the incident ray and the normal is angle of incidence, and the angle between the normal and reflected ray is angle R. So we can measure these two angles using a protractor. Now repeat the activity by keeping the clock and the cardboard at different angles. We can keep them at different angles. Like that, we can increase the angle by placing the clock and our ear at these points. Now from this activity, it is clear that sound also obeys the laws of reflection. Because we are able to hear the sound produced by the clock through this cylindrical tube, and then we can measure the angles, and we will see that the angle I will be equal to angle R. This is the first law of reflection. So the second law of reflection, and the first law is that all the things, the incident ray, the reflected ray, the normal and the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. So both of the laws are obeyed by the sound. Next topic is echoes. So what is echo? Echo is just the sound produced or the reflection of the sound that reaches a listener with the delay after the direct sound is heard. Means whenever we make a sound in an empty room, the sound bounces from the walls of the room. Like this, if we are standing over here and if we are producing the sound, then sound gets reflected by the walls or any obstacle, and then it bounces off back, and this is known as the echo. So some of us might have enjoyed making sounds in an empty room, because whenever we make a sound in an empty room, the sound bounces off from the walls of the room, and hence we hear our own voice repeatedly. Means कि हमें अपनी आवाज क्या है बार बार सुनाई देगी. So this is called an echo. So what is an echo? Echo is just the reflection of sound that reaches a listener with a delay after the direct sound is heard. That is known as echo. Now we will see that when we can hear the echo, or what are the conditions to hear an echo. Because in a small room we are not able to hear echo, but whenever we stand near the hills or in a very large hall which is empty, then we are able to produce echo. Echo is just the repetition of sound produced when a rigid surface reflects a sound. So whenever we shout inside a big room such as an auditorium or in an open space surrounded with mountains, we hear multiple echoes. Why this happens? This happens because the sound is reflected or bounced off from one wall to the another and then to the another. Okay, so we are talking about the auditorium, but in a single room it gets reflected from a single wall and then bounces off back to us, and in this way we are able to hear multiple sounds of our original sound. Now, there is one important thing, that our brain retains the effect of any sound for 0.1 second. That means the human brain can distinguish two distinct sounds only if there is a gap of 1/10 of a second or more between the 2 seconds, because our brain persists, or it only retains the effect of any sound for 0.1 सेकेंड. मीन्स कि हमारे जो ब्रेन में जो साउंड का इफेक्ट रहता है वो कितने टाइम के लिए रहता है? 0.1 सेकेंड के लिए. एंड दिस टाइम इज कॉल्ड द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ परसिस्टेंस. देयरफॉर वी कैन नॉट डिस्टिंग्विश between two different sounds if those sounds have reached our brain within 0.1 second. मीन्स कि अगर एक साउंड है तो उसके बीच में दूसरा साउंड आ रहा है तो हम उसको डिस्टिंग्विश नहीं कर सकते हैं विद इन 0.1 सेकेंड, बिकॉज द फर्स्ट साउंड रिटेन्स in the brain for 0.1 second and we are not able to hear that the repeated sound. So hence the echo of a sound will be heard distinctly only when it reaches our ears after 0.1 second. That means after the original sound dies out. Means कि जब तक जो ओरिजिनल साउंड है खत्म नहीं हो जाता हमारे ब्रेन में से तब तक हम दूसरे साउंड को नहीं सुन सकते. That means we will hear the echo when it reaches our ears after 0.1 second. Now we will find out the distance, that what should be the distance to hear an echo, the minimum distance to hear an echo, because as I have told you that we cannot hear the echo in a small room, but in a large empty auditorium or in a hall or near the hills we are able to hear the echo. As we know that the human brain can distinguish between two distinct sounds only if there is a gap of 1/10 of a second or more between the two sounds. Therefore, we can hear the echo of a sound only if the reflected sound reaches our ear in 1/10 of a second and after we hear the first sound. In a small room, the sound waves are reflected quickly due to the small space of the room and reaches our ear within 1/10 of a second. So, during that time our brain still has the first sound stored and it cannot recognize the second sound, so we cannot hear an echo. This is the explanation regarding this. Now we will find the minimum distance to hear an echo. So as we know, the speed of sound in air is about 332 meter per second, and so we can calculate the distance traveled by the sound in 0.1 second, because speed is equal to distance over time, and distance will be equal to speed multiplied by time. That is equal to 332 multiplied by 0.1. It will be equal to 33.2 meter. But this is twice the minimum distance between a source of sound and the reflecting surface. Why it is twice the minimum distance? Means कि ये जो distance है, it is 2 times the distance between the source of sound and the reflecting surface, because an echo is here heard only when it goes from the source of sound, then hits a rigid surface and comes back. Means there is a double distance d and d, that is 2d. So this distance is just the twice of the minimum distance between the source of sound and the reflecting surface. If we want to find out the distance between the source and the reflecting surface, that will be the half of this distance, the distance between the source and reflecting surface. This is the source and this is the reflecting surface, but the double distance is from source to reflecting surface and then from reflecting to source. So the distance between source and reflecting surface is half of this distance. It is equal to 16.6 meter. So we can hear an echo only when the reflecting surface is beyond 16.6 meter from the source, or approximately it is equal to 17 meter from the source. There is info hub that in valleys where mountains are all around, a sound may get reflected many times to form multiple echoes. So I hope you will understand these topics. Thank you.